What's up guys, Phantom here, back with episode 15 of my F1 2019 career mode, as we are going to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix.
Practice is all wrapped up as we move into qualifying here at the Autodromo di Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Any moment now, the teams will be heading out onto the track. And as we wait, poised for the start of what will hopefully be a thrilling qualifying, why don't you tell us, Anthony Davidson, about the things you can do to really get the most out of a car in a session like this?
Well, you're largely limited by the Parc Fermé regulations, of course. Back in the old days, pre-2004, you'd work on both a qualifying setup and a race setup over practice, and then swap them over after qualifying. So the race car was quite different at times to the qualifying car. Nowadays, though, you have to find a compromise that works for both. There are a few things that you can still adjust during the session, such as the differential, the brake bias, and the front wing angle, but that's about it. So it's more about optimizing what you do have and adapting your own style to suit the track conditions.
As we start out here in Q2, as we easily got through Q1, as we are going through Parabolica, it is actually supposed to rain for most of the race, if not all of it. So I did not know this at this point, so I have a completely dry setup on. I didn't really check the weather. So as we come down here, take as much curb as we can, gas it up. As we come through the end here at Parabolica, make sure not to run wide. Here's, we lost a little grip there, but as we were going to come across the line, we are actually going to be the fastest in Q2, as our teammate Grosjean, as always, can't seem to get out of Q2 as we move on to Q3. As we enter here in Q3, at the very end here, we are going to only have one qualifying lap here as we come down here to turn one, brake right after the 150 meter board. Take as much curb as you can, try to straight line it as much as possible as we come down to Parabolica at the last corner here, as there's just a minute and 25 left, so we actually couldn't get another lap in, or it'd be very, very close. But we are actually going to be on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. It's going to be my first pole of the season and of my career, and let's see if we can convert it into P1 in front of the Tifosi.
It's race day here in Italy once again. Monza, home to so many records. The smallest winning margin, for example. Do you remember in 1971, Peter Gethin beat Ronnie Peterson to the line by 1/100th of a second. There were 40 overtakes for the lead alone in 1965, and Kimi Raikkonen clocked a record top speed of 230 miles per hour here, just over a decade ago. So there's a lot to live up to then for all of our drivers today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's Haas in pole position then, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Butler, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Bottas, Perez, Giovinazzi, Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, Stroll, Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen and Norris, Weber, Russell, Max Verstappen and Robert Kubica, Albon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
As we sit here on pole position of the Italian Grand Prix, as the 5 lights are out now, and we get bogged down, and we are going to get absolutely mugged by Vettel, Butler, and Hamilton, all of them, and we're right now in a sandwich. Now we're actually being a sandwich with Vettel and Hamilton, as in real life we had lost both our wheels there. But we're now drag racing and get the better of Butler on the exit there, as Vettel and Hamilton, as we're going to actually lose the back end a little bit going through Curve de Grande here, as we brake right at the Pirelli board, try to not to lose grip or anything and cut the corner and get warnings, because this will happen as we try to go in. We go in too deep and we slide and we get warnings, and you can't get too many of those, as we cut onto lap 3, as Bottas behind us is actually the quickest car on the circuit, as he's right behind us, as he's very, very quick.
Okay, some information on Bottas. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Nothing's really happened the first 11 laps besides us getting fastest lap, but everything's about to kick off. As we come down through Ascari here, as Hamilton's going to pull out on Vettel here, as Vettel goes a little bit wide, which will open up the opportunity for us to go around the outside of him, around Ascari. We had to brake a little bit there, as you see here on the replay, as Vettel had a bit of a gap and then got reeled in, as he kind of locked up / went wide, and will come around the outside there and take second position from him. If you look at the map, there is a yellow flag in sector 2, and as you look here, there's a four-way fight between Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Perez, and Norris, as Grosjean went wide, which will leave it up to Norris there, as then Grosjean and Norris make contact, and Grosjean spins, and it stacks everybody up, and multiple people have damage, as Grosjean backs across the middle of the road there. As you see here from Kubica's point of view, as 3 cars go in the pit lanes, and at the same time Kubica's engine let go of him, so a potential 15th, 14th finish is out the door, as we are trying to catch and unsuccessfully catch Hamilton, who will win the Italian Grand Prix, as we come through Parabolica here to finish second at the Italian GP. But while I was going through replays, I found a little glitch where you finish and where they actually should finish is not right, because Russell was like 3 positions behind Butler, but he finished ahead of him on the results sheet, so I don't know.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a good finish. Well done.
That's it for another Grand Prix, and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, That lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I think it's got to be Lucas Weber. Time and time again, he proves that he's someone who can quietly get the job done, and that's exactly what he's done today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.